Today's HBCU Spotlight focuses on three schools. The first school is Lincoln University of Missouri. Lincoln University was established as Lincoln Institute on January 14, 1866, and it officially started its first class on September 17, 1866 in Jefferson City. In 1921, the college started offering graduate programs and changed its name to Lincoln University of Missouri, not to be confused with Lincoln University of Pennsylvania. In 1954, as a result of integration after the court case of Brown versus the Board of Education, the school opened its doors to applicants of all ethnicities. Today's enrollment is around 2,400 students. Its mascot is the Blue Tigers. Edward Waters College. Edward Waters is Florida's oldest independent institution of higher learning. It is also Florida's first institution established for the education of African Americans. It was established in 1866 by the AME Church, which stands for African Methodist Episcopal Church, as the Brown Theological Institute. It was renamed Edward Waters College in 1892 after Edward Waters, who was the third bishop of the AME Church. It became a 4-year accredited institution in 1979. It currently offers bachelor's degrees in 8 academic programs. Fisk University. Fisk held its first classes as the Fisk Free Colored School in Nashville on January 9, 1866. The first class of students ranged in age from 7 to 70, and they all had one thing in common, which that they all were former slaves or runaway slaves. The school was named for Clinton Fisk, who was a Union general and assistant commissioner of the Freedmen's Bureau of Tennessee. This school was reorganized and incorporated as Fisk University in 1867. In 1871, the Fisk Jubilee Singers were established. They are a world-renowned choir made up of students from the school that traveled the world performing to raise money for Fisk. And they traveled so far and performed for lots of different famous people, even including the famous author at that time, Mark Twain. Money from this choir's performances led to the construction of what they call Jubilee Hall, which interestingly, I've actually seen Jubilee Hall and been inside this historic building. This was the first building built for the education of freedmen in the South, and it is now a National Historic Landmark. Fisk students in the 1960s played a pivotal role in the civil rights movement. Martin Luther King Jr. actually spoke at the university in May of 1960 in response to the civil rights movement in the city. Fisk is ranked number 6 among historically Black universities in the country and is the oldest institution of higher learning in Nashville, Tennessee. It currently offers more than 20 plus undergraduate programs as well as graduate programs in biology, chemistry, physics, and clinical psychology. Some of the notable alumni is Senator John Lewis, who we know recently passed away, and he was very active in the civil rights movement. In the 60s, he's actually one of the students that led civil rights protests and marches during that time. Also, Matthew Knowles, who is the father of Beyonce, graduated from Fisk. Ida B. Wells, Kim Whitley, Nikki Giovanni, W.E.B. Du Bois, and Otis Boykin. Otis Boykin is the man that is credited for making the pacemaker. That is your HBCU Spotlight for today.